the Google Gen AI SDK using the Python. And here's the list of things we are going to cover in this video. First of all, we are going to see how we can set up the Gemini client, how we can get the API key, and finally creating the content. Just creating the content, that means wait for the content and it is going to get it. But what if we have the streaming ability? We are going to use the Gemini flashlight here for the faster response. But then what if we want to have the ability to think? Yes, some models like Gemini 2.5 Pro model can think, and if we can show the thinking process in the terminal when we are running, that will be really cool. But after that, we will go and see the real power of this Gemini models by reading the insight from the images. Like I have the image and I ask like how many people are there, how many have the specs on their eye, and something like that. And after that, we are also going to get the transcript with the timestamp for an audio. And remember, everything is working in the single chat. There is no different model for the image, for the audio. Everything is just one model, one chat, and you can add various multimodal capability. After that, we will going to see how we can have a structured output with the JSON, like defining the exact JSON, or we can use the Pydantic library to define the structure output for our response. And finally, we are going to see how we can use the tool calling or the function calling in the Gemini model. All these things are packed in this video, so if you have not yet subscribed to Bitfilm's YouTube channel, go and hit subscribe and like this video before moving forward, because you know what this video is covering. So just hit like button because you are going to get ton of knowledge about the Gemini, the Google Gen AI SDK. So let's get started. To get started with the Gemini, you first need to set up the virtual environment, but don't worry because we have the UV. It is a nice way and a newer way to run the Python and have the dependencies everywhere. Forget about the pip, just get the UV. Once you get the UV, then you can get started by saying UV, init, and dot. Dot means the current directory, and init means starting the boilerplate to have the Python environment, the files, and everything. It is absolutely amazing. So if I hit enter, you will see on the right side we have get ignore, it is get initialized. Then we have the Python version, which version of Python we want to use. Right now it's 3.13 for me. And then we have the main.py file. And now here we are actually going to code. Then we also have the pyproject.toml file. Now this file, think about it as a package.json in the npm or JavaScript. Just like that, we have a pyproject.toml, because here you provide the detail about the project, description, readme, required Python, and as well as the dependency list. This is absolutely amazing. And that's why I was saying like forget pip and get the UV. Now, once you have this, then to run the main.py file, which we have here, and this file is just having hello from Gemini, what you need to do, you need to simply say UV run main.py. And once you run it, it's actually going to use the Python version you have described inside the python.python version file. And then it is going to start creating the virtual environment. That's why you don't have to worry about the virtual environment, which is obviously created. This is the first time, obviously. And finally, running the hello from Gemini. If I run it again, you just see hello from Gemini because all these two steps are already done. Power of UV. Now, let's get back to Gemini. How do we get started and what we need to install? For that, you simply go on the Google and say Gemini, I can say like Google Gen AI. Now, once you have this, you can go into various places like pip, pypi, and I am interested in the GitHub. So if I go on the GitHub. Here is the Python library, which is looking something like this. And it says you need to run pip install Google Gen AI. But remember, we are using the UV, and the UV says replace pip with UV, replace install with add, and rest will be exactly same. So what that means, to install this Google Gen AI, I need to say UV add then Google Gen AI. So much simple. If I hit run, very fast, super lightning fast thing is there. And now if I go on this pyproject.toml, you can see the dependency is here, Google Gen AI 1320. That's cool. That's really cool. And now on our main.py, I can simply say from Google import Gen AI. Then I'm going to create the client, which will look something like this, genai.client. And then I can get started with this. Just to show that everything is fine, I can just print the client and see what's going to happen. First of all, when you run this, since we have not used any API key, the Google AI API key, we need to provide that. For that, you can simply go to the ai.dev. Interesting. Yes, ai.dev. It is actually going to redirect you to the AI studio of Google, which is something like this. If you have heard about the Nano Banana, we have this here, but this is not a Nano Banana video. Okay, so to get the API key, you need to go at the corner here, somewhere, get code. No, not like that. Oh, so you need to go on this get API key. Here you are, and here click on create API key, select your project, and let's select this one, click on create API key, and very soon the API key will be here. Then you just need to copy it here, just paste it like this and hit enter. And now once again, if I run, you can see we are having the client. Now, since we have the client, let's go to the GitHub repository to see how actually we can use it. Once you have created the client, something like this, you can also use the API key like this. Like maybe if you have API key in the .env file, then also it's going to work. Then how do we get started, or how do we actually run something? So maybe I can see we have the client, so it's all about creating the client model. Yeah, here we are. So client.model.generate content. So here I say response is equal to client.models.generate content, and in this we need to provide two things. One is model name and another is actual prompt. So if this is all good, if I run it, then you will find out that it will going to write the poem. So this is a nice poem. The sun descend, a fairy ball, a molten heart about to fall. It seems like a nice one. But you know what? This model is coming exactly the model name. So how do we get the model name? If you go to the ai.dev or just AI Studio, go to the chat, go here on the model list. Now, when I click on Gemini, I can see I have Gemini Pro, and just below that you have the actual name or the ID, or you can call it the ID or model name, I can say. So Gemini 2.5 Flash, 2.5 Flash Lite. Now let's use the light one since it is faster and quicker. So if I do this, it says not found. So something is wrong. Gemini 2.5 Flash. Oops. So it should be 2.5 Flash, not 1.5 Flash. So 2.5 Flash is here, and we can run this. Cool. We have a nice poem once again. So this is about the generating content. But how do we stream the content? So with this, let's once again go to the Google and search for is stream. Now here we have the stream. Now you just need to use the different function called generate content stream, and everything will be exactly same. So if I say stream and see what's going to happen. If I run this, it says there is no text in the response. Why? Because this is a stream. So if I just get the response, you will see it's actually giving you a promise kind of thing, or a sync way. So what we can do is we simply say for chunk in response, just print out the chunk and do some cleanup thing. So it's going to run it, and you can see the response is actually streaming. That's the power of using the Gemini. You don't have to provide something different. It's all about same thing. Just use different function to have the streaming on this models. Great. Now let's see how we can add an image and have the conversation over the image, how the Gemini model can read the image and give you the response. For this, I have an image where I can see I have many people. There are actually total 11 person here. And this is an image from an AI event we did here in Indore. Cool. So let's pass this image. How do we pass it? We just say media air and then say client file upload, something like this. So this is the name of the file, which is directly in the root. So I don't have to do any actual path for the image. It's just going to fetch that. And then once we have that, in the content, we can pass an array, and inside that we provide the media. Now everything will be same. It is still streaming, and let's see what it says. So it's reading the file, the image, and I ask, oh sorry, something is wrong. So what we have to do, we need to just change the prompt. We need to say how many persons are there in this image. Now let's see what's going to happen. And very soon it's going to read the image and give you how many persons we have in the image. Cool. It says 11 people are here. That's that's absolutely correct. Now let's ask something else. So I can open the image and I can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons are wearing spec. So what we can say, how many person are wearing the spectacles, like this. Okay, so it should return the 6, and let's see how many it identified. And it says 5 people, so something is not good. So maybe I can ask once again, and let's see this time is it going to get the 6 or 5 again. Okay, now it says 6. So yeah, that's good. 1 is acceptable. Now since we can read the image properly, what we can now try, we can try with an audio. So this is a audio version of my YouTube channel, which is starting something like this. Photoshop will be obsolete in the near future. Okay, so we are going to pass out this nano banana mp3. So nano banana dot mp3. Now here, since we have passed this audio, I'm going to say give me the transcript. Give me the transcript of the audio with time stamp for 5-second interval. That's good. Now let's see what's going to happen. Again, streaming is on, so it should stream the transcript we have asked for. And this is a pretty big one. And now you can see it is giving 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3 again, and 1, 2, 3 once again, then 3 to 8, then 8 to 10. Seems like a really good transcript we have here. We can also provide the transcript format if you want, and it's going to provide that also. And Photoshop will be obsolete in the near future. Exactly, nice way of doing all these great things. Cool. With all these things, come up with one very important thing of recent advanced model. What is this? It is called thinking mode. Now, to enable the thinking mode, we need to switch to the Pro model, which has the thinking ability. Now, if I just change the prompt and I say just like write me a poem on sunset, and instead of just having the text printed, I just print the entire chunk. See what's going to happen very closely, because this is very important. So once we have the response, now since this is a Pro model, it actually do the thinking and it's actually do a lot of things. It is a little slower than the Lite or the Flash model, but you can see these models are having a role of model, again role of model, and again role of model. We are not including the thinking part. So let's add the config here, where I say thinking config, which include the thinking. So at this point in the response, we are including the thinking part. So here you can see now we have a thought as true. Once again, thought as true. So what we can do, we have the content, we have the candidate, we have the first candidate content parts part. Okay, text. So here we can say for part in chunk dot uh, candidates first dot content dot part, and here we are just giving the part, and part is having text and thought, two things. So we can simply say if the part dot thought is true, then we just say print thinking. Okay, else we just print the response, which is part dot text. Now let's see once again. See, thinking once, thinking twice, and thinking thrice, and fourth time too much thinking, 5. Wow, that's really good. 6, 7, and then we are getting the poem. Okay, so this is good. Now we have this thinking always, but instead of just having think, we can also provide the thinking, what actually it is thinking. And once we have that, just to make things clear, I just add this kind of separation, and then let's run. Now this time, whatever the model is thinking, we can actually read from the terminal. Okay, so it will going to start very soon, thinking, exploring sunset nuances, then developing poetic structure, analyzing poetic elements, formulating the first stanza, constructing the poet imaginary, composing the sunset poem finally, and rhythm, and boom, you can see we have this amazing poem. So it get wrong, but poem is here. So this is how the thinking mode we can have along with the streaming of the content. This is really powerful in the Gemini 2.5 Pro model. Now let's talk about the structured output. And for that, I'm getting back to the Gemini 2.5 flashlight and removed all that thinking thing. Okay, so here I'm going to ask, list out all the states of India. Now, what is the response? Let's see. In the response, you can see, first of all, it says, here are all the list of states of India alphabetically, and everything is in markdown. If I run it again, this will have a total different format. If I do this, then you will see that it's not having the markdown format here, and here is a list of all the states of India. So the title is also different. Now, as many times you are getting the response, you might get different answer. Instead of this, we can provide a very nice structure output. And for that, we first need to provide a config. In this config, we need to provide the response MIME type is application JSON, and then response JSON schema, not a scheme, it's going to be the schema as states JSON. So I'm going to provide the states JSON, and this is going to hold the properties, which is going to have the list of state. So this is going to be an array, and then here I provide the items as string, name of string, name of state, and then here the title is states, so list of states, and then this is the property. After that, we need to provide that the required property is the state. It always has to be there. And finally, we just need to provide the type as object. Cool. So we have the structure we want from the response, and then we have defined that this is going to be a response type of JSON and application JSON basically, and still we are using stream. We want, if you want, then use that. If you don't want, you can simply remove that. And now you will see that the response will be in a structured format, and this is going to be an array of state which is holding all the states. That's good. Now, what if I also say all the states of India and their capitals? Now, since we have also asked for the capital, we have not included in the property the output. Let's see what's going to happen now. So since the output structure is only defining the state name, it should only include the state name, although we have also asked for the capital. So what we have to do here, we ask the state. Now state is going to be something like, let's say Goa, and then its capital, which is also Goa. Okay, so Panji. So Panji is here. So something like that. So how we can do that? So here we are defining the items. In the items, we first need to say we need the name of the state, and then we need the capital of the state. Just by adding this, if we ask again, then we are getting the state name as well as the capital name, which is something like this. Cool, that's a really powerful thing. Now, instead of doing all that thing in a JSON, you can also provide this as a Pydantic model. The only thing you need to change here is response schema directly, and we say like state model, and this state model will be a Pydantic model. So first of all, let's install the Pydantic. So add Pydantic, which is here. Now import base, like from Pydantic, import base model, and then we say class state model is going to have a state, and the state is something like this, is a dictionary and of string and string. So here, instead of having the list, what we can say states is going to be the states, and let's create another class which is called state, and this is going to hold the name and the capital. So we say that it's going to be the list of this model, the state model. And finally, we have provided the state model here, which is like this. Okay, cool. Let's rerun this and see what's going to happen by running this. And very soon we will going to get the list of the state and its capital, something like this. This is, I feel, is really simple to understand and having very less code to have proper structure output. I think you got the point how we are doing all these things. Let's move to the next thing, which is tool calling. Now Gemini tool calling is really simple. So first of all, I'm going to remove all these things. I don't need these config for tool calling. Instead, I just say tools, and this is going to be an array. So get Indian states. So this is a function which I'm going to create here. So def function is going to return a list of I can say the name and the capital, something like this. Okay, so this is just going to return two state and their capital, and since we are now going to use the tool at this point, it's only going to return two capital with the state's name. Now it says, can I get list Indian, but cannot provide, would like to list me the states. So something is wrong here. So maybe if I can just return the names, so maybe something like this, and not all, just few, so that we can verify that something is here. And this time it says cannot provide with their capital. Why is this? I cannot provide the functionality to list their capital. So instead of listing, I can say give me the names of states of India, something like this, and just the name. So how it is going to work? Okay, so we have this. States include Maharashtra, Delhi, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The exact names we have defined here, only the name. And this is how you can call the tool, which is very simple. Now this is only works when it needed. So what if I say list the states of USA? Now since we have only the function or the tool for listing out the states of India, it says, hey, I can only provide the states of India. But if I ask totally different question, like write me a poem on Indian states, not on topic of AI. So this is just a totally different thing, and it is not at all going to use the tool. So it is going to write the poem and skipping the use of the tool. So that's all about Gemini. There are a lot more things. I encourage you to visit this repository, the Python Gen AI, which include various things here, and I am really overwhelmed with all that things. But yeah, this is super duper powerful and amazing thing. You can also do the VO thing. So maybe I can search for the VO3 like this. With a space, VO3, maybe somewhere else. Yeah, here we are. So you can see we can also do the VO 2.0 generate. So that's great. That's really great. Oh, why can't we just try it out? Just copy this all together, paste it here, and it says sleep from Google Gen AI types. We already have all these things. Why it says it's not have that? So if I run it, what's going to happen? It says client is not defined. Client is not defined. Okay, so we need to create the client. Client is Gen AI, and from this, let's see now what's going to happen. And since it says Google Cloud Platform to be enabled, so now to use the VO 2.0, it's not free. You need to have the Google Cloud Platform billing enabled. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to use this VO2 by enabling the billing thing in the comment section, and in the next video I'm surely going to create video on that too. So if you like these kind of video, just let me know in the comment section so that I can create more of this kind of video. And don't forget to hit like button, because that is really important to me. And if you have not yet subscribed, go and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely amazing thing. Now, before closing this video, let's just do a simple recap. What we have learned today. We have learned that how we can use the Google Gen AI with the Gemini models, and how we can actually have a simple text generation with just having the generate content function. And then we have this stream, so that we are streaming this function. Then we learn about how we can add the thinking ability and print out whenever the model is thinking and when to not thinking. Then we saw that how we can read an image and get the insight from the image. Also, from an audio. We actually saw how we can transcribe any MP3 or audio and get the response however we want. After that, we learned about how we can create the structured output so that we get the response in a very structured way, whatever the response type we want. We used the JSON simply, or we used the Pydantic model to create a structured output. Finally, after that, we learned about how we can use a tool, how we can create a tool and return the response, and how this Gemini is going to use the tool and when it is using and when not. Like when we asked about writing a poem, it doesn't have to use the tool because it is not at all related to the get Indian state kind of things. So that's how it is working. We tried the VO, but we found that it is only available for the billing, and we will do that later. So once again, this video is having packed of lot of things. If you like this, once again, don't forget to hit like button and subscribe to Bitson's YouTube channel. Let me know in the comment section how you like this video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.